Hey guys, welcome to another episode of All Bass Creations Effects, Tutorials, Demos, and Review. And we're getting started here with the brand new MS-70CDR Plus preset pack that I've created. It's on my Patreon. You can go grab it right now. You ain't even gotta wait till this is over. Link is in the description. And all I can say about this unit, for the price, you know, I've seen them for $109 on sale at times. I can't remember where I saw it, but I think it's on. But they're usually around $130, somewhere around there, $150. They're exceptional pedals for the price, for sure. And as you can hear, so this is my bass dry, right? Here's my bass with the first preset on, which is I call fatten tone, because it just fattens up your tone. So just a nice fat preset there. And again, feel free to check out this preset pack over on the Patreon. Make sure you hit that like button while we're here, because you know I'm always getting these preset packs out for you guys. You know, I appreciate you guys hanging with me, you know, and supporting the channel. This is one way, the best way, you know, for you guys to support the channel is to buy the preset packs or join the Patreon. So I definitely appreciate those of you that have already. So that's the first preset. Next preset we have, I call Big Bass Tone. And I like to include these line selectors in here so I could just turn the entire effects chain on and off at once. So say I'm using this for a specific song or something like that, I can turn the entire chain off and use another chain if I want to, however you got your board set up, your pedal board or whatever the case. But with these presets, it actually allows you to use the unit as a standalone unit as a basis, because we don't always need a whole bunch of distortion and overdrive and stuff. A lot of us play with pretty clean tones. So this little unit here gives you a little bit of everything. And the thing I love about the Zoom stuff is they included the actual bass versions of the different effects in here. So you're not stuck with a bunch of guitar effects trying to make them sound like they work for bass. These are the actual, you know, these have actual bass effects. Here we go. So you can hear it's a huge difference when you're using the preset and when you're not. So without it, you see that's my bass more in a mid-rangey type of sound. And you kick on that big bass tone, gives you a nice wide bass sound. Right? So that's the second preset. Third preset, I like to call this one, well, I do call this one Bit Filter Funk. So this is kind of like my my envelope octaver type setting when I want to. You know, I want to get that nice classic funk sound. also try to make sure that these are presets are versatile enough where it's not just the actual preset. You can go in and turn off each individual effect, and it kind of it alters them to give you more options. You know what I'm saying? And then you could just literally save that option to a different preset slot on your MS-70CDR Plus. For instance, with that patch, you can easily turn off the bit crusher, and now you have just a straight up nice funky bass envelope filter. But if you notice, it's not just a bit crusher and a filter on there. It's a few other things that really give it a fat sound. So I'm gonna bypass everything and then put it together. So it gives you a nice mood type sound, you know, when it's set up the right way. We're allowing for a nice wide platform to work with there. So that's the bit filter. Next up I have is what I like to call my synth chain. So this is how I would set it up to run. Say I want to play a synth bass sound from my C4 synth. Well, let's start out without this. Is just the C4 synth sound by itself first. So as you can see, it just takes whatever sound you're using, that kind of plain bass synth sound there, which isn't bad by itself, right? But it adds something a little bit extra to it and gives you a whole different option on the same sound. So again, that's the synth chain preset, but that synth sound is coming from the C4 synth, right? So next up, similar preset, but slightly different. Definitely has a wider characteristic to it. This one's called Tri-Synth Chain, and this one actually is like just a wider version of the last patch preset. And of course, that can work easily, very easily work for the um, keyboard or any of that stuff as well. So, I try to include some different types of patches for you guys. Now, here's a bass synth patch that's completely contained within the MS-70CDR Plus. So this one is just called Synth Bass. This is the 6th preset on there, and it pretty much replicates my chain for my synth bass that I have off to the side here with the actual pedals, but we're all within the MS-70CDR Plus. That way, you guys could instantly just plug in and have a nice synth bass sound. So, classic synth bass type sound. Now I got this kind of almost like getting closer to that Moog type synth bass sound. So you can get a nice synth bass sound out of that as well. And that one's called Moog Synth, because pretty much just emulating the Moog Synth there. But I definitely appreciate, make sure y'all hit that like button wherever y'all on Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. I appreciate all you guys hanging out with me on the different platforms, of course. But let's keep it rolling. So, number 8. So another thing I included was some actual soloing patches. So there you can kind of really hear the ambience in the sound, and really, let's bypass it for a second. Zoom definitely stepped up the analog circuitry of these new MS stomps, so they sound great bypassed, as well as the dry sound coming through sounds really good. But even with the effects are really good quality, even though technically it's 24-bit, 44.1 kilohertz, they sound really great. You know, we keep forgetting that that's CD quality. CD quality was really great quality. Most of the streaming services you listen to ain't even streaming that quality. So you got to understand that these sound amazing, and higher sample rate doesn't necessarily always equate to a better sound. So these sound amazing. They definitely upgraded. Even though a lot of them are named the same, they definitely upgraded the way all of them sound, whether it's through the circuitry or other things they might have done, but they sound amazing. For 150 bucks, whatever these running about 150 on sale. You can catch them around 109. But yeah, you can catch all these presets on my Patreon, by the way. Make sure you hit that like button while you're here hanging out with me. But you can get all these presets on the Patreon. They are available right now, and it's 23 up. Nice big open space there, but it doesn't get in the way of you. Of your lines there. So, you know, very nice. One of my solo patches I use. Here's another one that includes a pitch shifter. So if you want to do some higher end chordal things, or and one thing I recommend with all synth pedals, all octave pedals, you pretty much want to roll off the bass frequencies on your bass. Roll off the bass and bump your boost your upper mids, and that tends to help pedals track your bass playing a lot better. So see, now it instantly becomes a little cleaner. But here we go. So it definitely tracks well with the polyphonic pitch shifter on there, but that's another solo patch I like to use. Use that for chordal things, you know, or actual solos, you know. But either way, great patch to have available to you when you just want to kick on a nice, you know, something different than, yes, this is on bass for sure. So the MS-70CDR Plus is an amazing unit for guitar, bass, keyboard. Just about any instrument can use the Zoom MS-70CDR Plus. That's where I feel like it's super versatile. It's really tailored for guitar and bass, but you got plenty of options for other instruments as well. So great option for, you know, adding additional stuff to your keyboard, you know, playing as well. So definitely a step any rig up for sure for the low. You don't even cost a lot. They reasonably priced. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. I appreciate y'all hanging with me, and make sure you hit that like button as well. So next patch, I call this Funky +1 octave. The last one was called Solo Octave +1 octave, right? This one is Funky +1 octave. So this for guys that want to, you know, get your little funk on in the upper register. So that's the Funky +1 octave. So as you can see, I tried to include a good variety of patches, even though we're only on number 11 at the moment. We've already went through bass tones, different bass tones with just your regular bass. We went through some solo stuff for your bass, and we went through some synth bass stuff, whether it's an external synth bass or creating a synth bass sound completely with the MS-70CDR Plus. And now we're really starting to get into the pad section. Pretty much these next, you know, 11 through 23 are pretty much pads. And, you know, one of the main reasons I bought this unit is because I love to do some ambient stuff, and this pedal covers a ton of different things that I don't have to spend a lot of money for. So, you know, thank you. I appreciate that. You know, Shaka Jumbo, appreciate you. And make sure y'all, you know, feel free to comment, ask questions about these presets. But all these presets are available on the Patreon now. So if you have an MS-70CDR Plus, you can just go there, download the preset pack, and throw it on your MS-70CDR Plus right now. But here is getting into some of these pad sounds. So this is Phaser Pad. appreciate the super chat coming from Shaka Jumbo. I appreciate you. Appreciate you a lot, you know. Hey, every dollar count over here, so I definitely ain't no big, small, little, none of that. It's all, I appreciate it all. Thank you. Feel free, everybody else, to hit the super chat, super cash up, all that stuff, but no pressure. So, just for you, if you're joining just now, these Zoom MS-70CDR pluses range from their 150, I believe, normally. I've seen them on sale for 109 recently. Let me see something real quick while I'm here. I can tell you exactly who got it for, if they got it for that price right now. Who got it? Well, oh, okay. For some reason on eBay, it got one for 109. Is this brand new? Don't know. I'm not recommending that one. Yeah, but they're going for 150 right now. So you will be able to catch these on sale. I bought this for expensive pedals, but they definitely, for the amount of stuff it does, 150 is nothing. Is absolutely nothing for this. So that's the phaser pad there. Nice wide pad sound there. Next up, we have Stereo Arena. So that's the Stereo Arena preset. And again, whole preset pack on Patreon. And let's see, we got a question up here. Is it better than the HX1? That is, really, to be honest with you, for the price, if you're gonna, I don't want to get into it with the Line 6 people today. Don't make me get into it with these Line 6 folks today. You know they're gonna come for me, but I like the HX1. I think it is a bit overpriced, but if they actually came down on price, you know, I guess, you know, I would like it a little bit more. But for 150, if you're only gonna get one of them, I can't recommend the HX1 over the Zoom MS-70CDR Plus, for the simple fact that this does have USB MIDI. And you still get stereo in and out. You still get great sounds, but you get more of them that's usable for bass in particular. And you can run 6 of them at a time versus the HX1. You're only running 1 at a time. And yes, while they do have some great effects in there, I mean, for me, it's only about 10 to 15 of them that I personally would be getting anything out of. Those 10 to 15, I love them, but the majority of this unit here is the MS-70CDR Plus is usable on bass, and partly because they include a lot of bass effects in there. So it's not just ambient stuff, and it's not just like a modulations. Like a lot of these ones in the HX1 are guitar effects, pretty much. Most of the effects in there are guitar effects, and they just, you know, it's like, yeah, you can use these guitar effects on bass compared to the MS MS-70CDR Plus, you're going to get bass specific effects on there, which will make a huge difference. Now, right now, I'm not using any bass specific effects. You know, I'm just using some ambient effects, some spatial effects, spaces, delays, you know, things like that. But the first few patches are bass patches, so, you know, it's great that they included compressors and all that stuff in there too. And the compressors, the 160 compressor and the limiter and the MS-70CDR Plus are absolutely great for bass. They sound great, you know. So that's Stereo Arena. And again, I included things like this line selector. So say you wanted to play and kick this on for a part of a song or something, you'd be able to engage the whole channel strip or bypass it by just simply pressing the line selector on or off. So one of the beautiful things about this unit, you can just turn off the entire effects chain at once rather than trying to switch patches all the time. So sometimes that's a lot easier. But let's move on. So this one I call Power Mod Pad. So here we go. So again, that's the Power Mod pad. You know, very nice, supportive pad there. You know, it follows you very well, even though it seems like it'll. When you first start playing, it seems like it might get in your way, but it follows you. Like it just, it's like kind of like. So it just follows you very well. Look how wide and look how massive that sounds. Like that, tell me that's not a high quality effect unit there. Like, even though it's $150, tell me that don't sound good. Like, not, don't think with your price tag, think with your mind and with your ears. Like, is that. Like, this is just one of those pedals everybody should just have in their arsenal. Like, it's just worth everybody, like, all different types of instrumentalists and everything. Like, if you're one of those people, especially if you're, you know, if you happen to play like saxophone or something else, you're not really into effects like that, this would be a perfect unit for somebody that's just getting their feet wet into effects, because it gives you a wide variety of sounds and effects types, but a lot of stuff that you know you're actually going to use, and you can build around this joint. Like if you just say, even if you just use the reverbs and delays, it's a ton of them in there. They also got a great amount of filters, and they got some really good. It's really not much to complain about with this unit, especially for the price. So that sounds so expensive, you know. And just for a quick comparison, got some of my patches queued up here on this HX1. And, you know, the main difference is that HX1, I love these effects, but I can only get one of them at a time. And for $250, $300, you know. So if I want that reverb, that's one of my favorite reverbs on it. The dynamic bloom, the shimmer effect on there is nice. But I have to pair other things with this unit. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This one right here, you could literally buy this and be up and running doing ambient sounds as soon as you got it out the box, just because it has all this stuff in there. Look how massive that sounds. People are definitely sleeping on this MS-70CDR Plus. It's a monstrous effect, a monstrous effects pedal. So that was the Power Mod pad, and that's number 13 in the preset pack, which is again available on the Patreon. These are available right now. You don't have to wait. You can go get them right now if you have this unit and you want to try them out yourself. But here's my big pad preset. So nice, massive pad sound to that. Add some very nice sustain to your bass sound. This absolute massive bass sound there, you know. So it's not a real, play a bunch of notes type of pad. There, this is like an actual pad. Like you want to play more chordal things. Oh, and when you do play single notes, you want, more so, because it almost got like a violin type sound to it as well. It's like a keyboard pad almost. And this is all the MS-70CDR plus. This is by itself. Like that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That this little $150 unit can do that and a ton of other stuff all at once. It's amazing. Here's another one I like to call Trim and Answer. So, nice tremolo pad there. Just to give you some different options. And for this particular pad, if you would like to change the everything is synced up together. That's one of the other benefits of using a unit like this. Like you're not trying to get stuff to sync up. You literally, it's all internal. So you literally, I can literally come over here to the menu. This is an easy way to access the BPMs. You just press this fourth knob here and scroll to the left, and that'll be your BPMs. So I got it at 120. Where'd I do it? Okay, and I can change that. You can literally set it to an exact BPM, that way, because I do have this set up where all the different effects that are time based, and there in that particular patch, it is 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. They're all synced up to different, pretty much different rhythmic values. So, but they're all synced up to the internal LFO. So you can make them faster, you can make them slower by just simply changing the BPMs. But yeah, as you can see, you can easily just do it that way, and it's all synced up. And it has, this unit also has USB MIDI. But all right, so that was the trim and answer patch. That's number 15. Here's number 16 with the shimmer. So this is my shimmer reverb patch, like my patch that's based around the shimmer reverb in here. So here we go. So as you can hear, this one is it's like I try to make all my pads. I like massive pads, like really huge pads, because I don't like them to sound like really small. I like them to be if they, especially because they're stereo. You know, this pedal I designed all these sounds with stereo in mind, so I like to hear that space. You know. That's without it. It'll easily take something like that to much more exciting, you know, and especially if you're playing by yourself, you know, you can get a lot of things done with these pads. You know, emulate keyboards with them. Like I said, the last one was actually sounded closer to a keyboard pad. This one definitely has its own like shimmery vibe to it, you know, so. It's like a really massive crystal space in a way. But let's move on. So that's the Big Shim reverb patch. Here's the poly mod filter. So another massive pad that kind of really utilizes the um, space of the reverbs and things like that. So great for all these pads are like for me just different ways of easily getting to ambient sounds. And we ain't even talking about if you add something like the deep freeze, for instance. Just unlimited sustain now, like just, and you get that glissando effect. So, and that's just adding one extra pedal to this pedal. That's just adding a deep freeze. So you can easily do that. Well, you can't easily do that with other pedals, but the deep freeze is a great option to pair something like the deep freeze or the MXR layers. So So by just simply adding, a deep freeze or MXR layers or something like that, you can easily make that an amazing, like, just this pedal paired with one or two other pedals can just get you the entire pedal board's worth of sounds. It's just insane. Like, you could take this and a distortion pedal, and I mean, really, you could just get a distortion pedal, or if you want amp models, you can buy like a ToneX one, and you can have you a nice little 3-piece compact rig that can do some real damage. Really, you don't even need an overdrive pedal if you get a ToneX one. Get a ToneX one, pick a preset that uses overdrive or distortion on it, or make a preset that does it. You take the ToneX one, run that into the MS-70CDR Plus, and bam, you got an amazing stereo rig right there. And you can actually run the ToneX one in stereo if you get a Y splitter, a stereo, basically a TRS to a 2 TS cables, quarter-inch cables. So basically, quarter-inch to 2 other quarter-inch, and let it split, and then run that into. And the ToneX one actually they just added modulations and stuff to that, but they aren't nowhere near as good as these in the MS-70CDR Plus. So that's the Poly Mod Filter pad there. That was number 17. Here's number 18. This is my lo-fi vinyl pad. So it almost has like an organ type sound to it at times. It still has that nice vinyl touch to it, and like the lo-fi stuff running there. So And again, all these presets are available right now on the Patreon. You can go to Patreon and grab this pack. I got packs for the MS-60B Plus, pack for the Zoom B6, 11 different preamp packs for the ToneX 1 series stuff, pedals and software, along with my personal preset pack for that, and 47 different bass synths available in a pack for the Source Audio C4 synth. So if you love synth-based stuff, you can check that out as well. So pairs great with something like that, you know, nice chordal harmony synth there. Or if you have an additional Zoom pedal, what you can do is you can add a harmonizer there. The Zoom pedals have harmonizers on them that are pretty good as well. The HX1 has harmonizers. I like the harmonizers in the HX1 as well. So, but nothing's like the C4 synth. That combined with the MS-70CDR Plus is insane. You know, I like to run this keyboard through there as well. It's all amazing. So, all right. Next patch. So that was the lo-fi vinyl pad. And then we on number 19. We getting there. This one I like to call Star Synth pad. So something a little slightly different than the other ones. So it's quite a bit going on there with that type of sound, you know, but definitely has a very nice, you know, vibrato on there, nice singing quality to it. So that's the Star Synth pad. Definitely check that one out. You know, all this is again in one pack. This took me and around with the unit to know which patches and you know going through each effect individually, seeing which effects I would like to line up. Because a lot of times we get these units and people are very much underutilizing them. They haven't gone through each individual effect and really saw, you know, tried to see if there was something within that individual effect that would be useful to them. You know, and not saying that every effect in the Zoom MS-70CDR Plus you're going to be using, especially not all the time if you're a bassist, you know, but there's a ton of the majority of effects on there you're going to be able to find something to do with them and something to use them for, which is awesome because who likes to buy stuff and then basically it sits off and collects dust, you know? This is not that unit. This is a unit you'll definitely be playing around with all the time, especially with these patches. You know, you'll hear new parts and songs you'll want to add them to, you know, your personal compositions, you know, which I would love to hear, you know. That's like a winter day when you're by the fireplace and it's snowing outside, you know what I'm saying? Or it's like when you're in space. But let's keep going. So this one I like to call Mango Ice. Then if you add something like the deep freeze to that, now you really get into that keyboard territory. Again, that was just the deep freeze in the MS-70CDR Plus, and I haven't changed. I didn't change the setting on the deep freeze either. It's literally just the effect, side of it. No dry signal with the speed around 9 o'clock and the glissando mode around, I say around 10 o'clock. So, those are very small pedals. They don't take up hardly any space. That's why I love the deep freeze personally. Plus, it gives me that glissando effect without having to have the big Super Ego Plus and all the Super Ego and stuff. I also have that same effect in the Electro Harmonics Hog 2, if you have a Hog 2. I'm trying to remember if I'm not sure. I think they might have added it to the Pog 3 as well. I'm not sure about that. Don't quote me on that, but check out the Pog 3. I mean, that it's a little pricey. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's a little out of my budget. You know what I'm saying? But I still love my Hog 2. But yeah, a little sound, a nice sound like that. This is my bass dry. You turn on that effect. You gotta appreciate the little the crystal like things that's just floating around. So that's Mango Ice, and that's number 20. Yeah, we coming up on we rolling here. We're at number 21. We got 2 more to go. Yeah, just 2 more to go. All right, so this is a patch I call Wind Tunnel. So just another preset that definitely can be used for some different types of ambient playing, you know, different places. You might want to be getting more towards that fall. Like for me, that sounds more like the wind is blowing outside and you have like the fall time, like seeing the brown and orange and yellow leaves and stuff, or like you in a really like a you're in a cave but it's snowing outside. That's what I said. A lot of people sleeping on these Zoom pedals. Like, how does that not sound good? Like, you know, I can't say, you know, I got the question earlier, is it better than the HX1? It's the two different pedals. And, you know, if you really can, you know, owning both of them isn't a bad idea. But I understand the HX1 is, just to be honest, you can get a plethora X1 and, you know, a HX1, I mean, a MS, plethora X1 and a MS-70CDR Plus. That's a mean combination as well. And it's, you know, the plethora X1 doesn't cost as much as the HX1. And the TC Electronic plethora X1 also has the original TC Electronic, you know, their specific algorithms. It's not emulating them. It actually is those effects pedals. So compared to the HX1 and his MS-70CDR Plus, they're emulating a lot of different pedals. That's why, like, all these different sounds you're hearing would be pedals you would have to buy in order to get these different, like, specific reverbs, specific delays and things like that that are very, you know, cost a lot of money. You get them right there at your fingertips. And not only do you get them at your fingertips, you get to be able to use multiple of, you know, effects. You get to use up to 6 at a time. So I definitely would say go with the MS-70CDR Plus, and then, you know, pick which of the other pedals you know, might want to combine them with. You know, if you want more reverb and delay options, and I would say you're going to want to go with the HX1. If you want more, like, if you like TC Electronic effects, which I love, like the shaker, vibrato, the Hall of Fame, reverb, the flashback, the Corona chorus pedal, the viscous vibe pedal is one of my favorites. The flanger, that purple flanger pedal they have in there, and, you know, so definitely check both pedals out, but work within your budget. And know that if you do get a one of the Zoom pedal or the plethora X1, all of these pedals are on the same level in terms of the effects. So, you know, it's not like these HX1 effects they're not superior to the other effects. They're just different effects. So there's a huge difference. All three of these are on the same level of those pedals. So that's the wind tunnel. Here's what I like to call flange key G. So it's a flanger pad, but it's in the key of G because it has a harmony pedal on it. And this is where the Zoom MS-70CDR Plus really shines, because it has pitch shifting in there as well. So, and the pitch shift, the poly shifter, and the harmony pedals are really good. So as you can hear, that harmony pedal, and because that's a harmony pedal and a polyphonic shifter together, working together, is the tracking on that is insane. Like the tracking is really, really for somebody on a budget. If you're on a real budget, you're not gonna go wrong with any of the MS-70CDR Plus or the MS-60B Plus. If you want amp models and overdrives and distortions that are bass centered, and you still want to have access to some modulations, delays, reverbs, and all that stuff, and pretty much anything you would need for bass, you would get the MS-60B Plus, and that'll have what you need in there, including extra things like a few bass synth pedals and stuff like that that are actually, the Z synth in there is really good. But in this pedal, you know, you get these, you get the polyphonic shifter and the harmony pitch pedal in the MS-60B Plus, but this pedal here, you get all these extra reverbs, modulations, and delays, you know, and even extra more filters than the MS-60B Plus. So if you're not going to use it for the amp models, the overdrives and distortions and all that stuff, I would just get an MS-70CDR Plus. So, but that's the Flan Key G. So let's go on to the very last one, which is PP Lo-Fi Pad. So let's try that out. The MS-60B Plus is, someone asks, how does that compare to the MS-70? How does that compare to the ToneX One? So they're two different types of pedals. Like the MS-60B Plus is a actual full-fledged multi-effects unit, while the ToneX One is more amp models. Like the modulations, delays, and reverbs in there are very limited, as well as the compressor is very limited compared to if you got the MS-60B Plus. You have way more compressors and you'd have filters, more modulations, different overdrives, delays, and stuff. You still will get amp models, but the amp models on the ToneX stuff, in my opinion, are the best amp models out right now. They killing everybody. So I would recommend just getting both, to be honest with you. If you can get both of them joints and run the you can run the ToneX first and then finish out your sounds with the MS-60B Plus, and what that'll do is allow you to have delays and reverbs and any additional EQ and stuff that you want from, you know, the MS-60B Plus running after the ToneX One, and it helps you utilize things. Or if you already got a Zoom B6, you know, you can run the ToneX and the effects loop there. What do you recommend for an amp pedal that I can just plug straight into a cab? Well, in terms of if you want to plug it straight into a cab, I'm guessing you're meaning like you want to bypass the built-in preamp of a bass amp. So what you would do, the ToneX series pedal is great for that. Get you a ToneX One, they'll have amp models. What you do, you go in there, you what I would do, when you go on the ToneNet, you'll find the preamp models of the different amps, say a Fender Bassman tube amp, right? The older ones, without the amp, without the cabinet on it. You want to find it without the cabinet, and you can run that sound. It'll sound just like a Fender Bassman tube amp running into whatever speaker cabinet you're running it into. So, for instance, but if you want to, if you're on a real budget and you want, let me see what you got. So the flexibility. Well, I mean, of course, the Zoom pedals do have apps. It's one of the other benefits of the Zoom pedals. The ToneX One has an app too. You know, it's the ToneX app. you know, so which you can use as a plugin. One of the other benefits of the ToneX pedal people don't really talk about as much. It comes with the ToneX series software and plugin, but it also has amplitude and the software and plugin included as well. So amplitude actually has effects in it, but you have to lug your computer around. So, you know, that's something else. But you can use tone models. Say I took, you know, I have all my preamp packs for the ToneX series stuff on the Patreon as well. But I have all 11 different preamp packs on there, including things like the Magellan, the Aguilar AG, the Eden WTDI, Ampeg SGT-DI, the Colorbox, JHS Colorbox V2, Mark Bass Lure Mark III, Ampeg BA series head, all that stuff, including like the Harkey TX600, all on the Patreon. So if you do get a ToneX pedal, you can, you know, you'll have access to all my preamp settings for all types of amp heads. So that's something that makes the ToneX a little bit more flexible, and you still get the software and stuff as well. But if you want something that has a good app, the MS-60B Plus will probably fit you better if you want an all-in-one box that's easier to use. Just like one thing that's you can just set up and run. If you have an iPad or an iPhone, you have to have an iPad or iPhone rather to use the apps for the Zoom pedals. That is a for some people that's a deal breaker. Everybody don't use Apple stuff, you know. So all the multi stomps and the Zoom B6 you can edit from the computers as well, but these multi stomps they only allow you to edit them from the apps. Apps are 99¢ in the Apple store, but you definitely have to have some Apple product in order to use the app. So in case you were wondering, I don't want to set you up like you could just do it with whatever device, you know. You need an Apple product to use the app. So, all right. And an ISO Apple product, you know what I'm saying? Not the laptop or computer. It won't for some reason they didn't allow it to connect to that for whatever reason, whatever. But for 150, you know, for the price, you got to understand, you know what I'm saying? You got to work with them. So here's the last pad. This is the PP Lo-Fi pad. So that's the last pad, you know, PP Lo-Fi pad. You know, it's got a nice ping pong thing going back and forth there, you know, utilizing the space, the reverb space. Yeah, definitely check this video out with some headphones, some good headphones, or a good studio monitor so you can really hear that stereo imaging and the quality of them. Like, I have to say, I'm thoroughly impressed with this little $150 unit. Especially, it's super competitive sound quality wise with everything else that's digital that's out right now. For me, the majority of these pedals, you know, the stuff I'm going to use the stuff that I have a problem with, I would have a problem with that with most multi-effects units. For instance, I like to have separate octavers. My octavers do things that none of these digital multi-effects units do by themselves. All the octaver stuff is pretty much digital, but you know, none of these sound like the MXR Poly Blue or like, can do everything the OC5 can do or the Hog 2. So I have to have those pedals in order to get that type of stuff. But if I just want a polyphonic octaver and just straight up octaver, something like that, or a harmony pedal, the multi-stomp is gonna be able to cover that. I think that's the only thing I would say in there. I like the filters in there too. I like the filters in this unit as well. That's why I have some patches with them on there as well. But let's do a quick little recap. I'm just gonna play through this stuff real quick in case you joined us a little late. You didn't catch the top. I'm gonna play through everything, all 23 patches real quick. So I'm gonna give you my bass by itself first, and I'm gonna try to keep my bass relatively the same for this. Well, actually, I can't. I gotta adjust some stuff for different reasons. Oh, let me fix it. Oh, I keep hitting this camera. I'm sorry, guys. I do this every time. There we go. Sorry about that. Y'all could have told me y'all wasn't gonna help me out. Y'all just gonna let my camera be all jacked up. Dang. Come on, y'all, I rock with y'all. Come on, rock with me. I appreciate that, Steven. Oh, Stephen, sorry. I am terrible with names. I'm telling you now. I don't. If I ever mess up y'all names, please understand it's not intentional. I just suck at pronouncing names and pretty much anything that's not easy to pronounce. So it's completely my fault. But thank you. I appreciate the support as well. And don't forget to leave the Cash App, Super Chat, Super Thanks, all that stuff. Sign up on the Patreon. You want to support the channel more. And check out the preset pack. Let's go. This one is meant to go on external synth bass sound. So this one and the next one are synth bass. I'll be using the C4 synth. Here it is, the C4 synth by itself. With the MS-70CDR, the synth chain patch. All right, and next up is the tri-synth chain. So this is still meant the same synth, just different preset patch. And that C4 synth patch is just meant to sound. That's my Poly Blue octave sound, like emulation on there. Pretty much tried to clone the MXR Poly Blue with this C4 synth, so that is very close to the C4. I mean to the Poly Blue sound there. But you could run any octaver into that. Those last two chains, 4 and 5, the synth chain and the tri synth chain, and it is enhanced them. So now you got the synth bass patch that's completely within the C4 synth. So now we back to just the MS-70CDR plus. This is synth bass. And next we got Moog synth. So that's the Moog synth patch, and here's the Cho Clean solo. So this is pretty much a solo patch. So moving on. That was number 8. This is number 9, solo +1 octave. And this is again another solo patch. So as you can hear, it tracks very well there. And that was number 9. That was solo +1 octave. And here's funky +1 octave. And this one is kind of meant to be like a funky, almost like rhythm guitar type patch, but you can use it for soloing as well, of course. See how we got let me see what we got here. Appreciate that, Jed. Well, I mean, that's something you got to talk about on the business end. You can't just, it's all business out here. You can't just, run off of the idea and throw it up in your music and then what? It's got to, but if you DM me, we can work on something for sure. Thank you. I appreciate that, Shaka Jumbo. Appreciate that as well. All right. So, all right. Funky +1 octave. So you use that for a lot of different stuff. You can, like when you want to do unison lines, but you don't have a guitarist, you know that could be. You know, and if you really wanted the bass part to come through a little bit more, you just would adjust the levels of the wet and dry there, and bring the wet down and bring the dry a little bit more forward. But I got it balanced right there, mostly for, like I said, if you wanted to get into that, you know, more guitar, funk guitar area. Right? So now we back into the pads, phaser pad. Stereo arena. And that's number 11. Number 12 is number 13, par mod bass. Par mod pad. And here's number 14, big pad. Here is trim and answer. And again, this tremolo trim and answer patch preset is set to the internal LFO, and the BPMs can be controlled through the menu, or well, yeah, you just go to the menu, press right, and then BPM will be right there, and you can change it. And you can speed that up or slow it down. The tremolo effect and the delays and all that stuff is synced together. So again, one of the beautiful things about it, you don't have to try to sync up or MIDI sync all these, time sync all these pedals. They're all inside of the MS-70CDR Plus. So that right there also saves you additional money. All right, so this is the Big Shim reverb. This is the polymod filter, polymod filter. So, bam, that's that one. That's the polymod filter. Here's the lo-fi vinyl pad. So as you can hear, it even has a little crackling of a vinyl record player in it. So that's pretty cool. Then you got the Star Synth pad. And that's the Star Synth pad. Here is the Mango Ice. So you get all types of little extra things floating around there. All right. And let's keep going. So we got the Mango Ice, and then we got Wind Tunnel. This is number 21. This one is Flan in the key of G, and that is and last but not least, the PP Lo-Fi pad. So yeah, that's all the presets there. Just ran through all 23 of them. And again, they're available on the Patreon. If you have a MS-70CDR Plus, you can check it out. You can go there and download it and throw them right on your pedal, and they'll be immediately available to you without you having to do any program. And let's see what we got here, Jed. Oh, don't worry about that, Jed, man. If you know, it's fine. It ain't. It's nothing wrong with ever asking. You know, sometimes you don't. Hey, you don't. A closed mouth don't never get fed. So don't be ashamed of, or ever feel guilty about asking something, you know, that ain't personal. You know, you ain't going the line and you good. And I appreciate the compliment on the wind tunnel. So you guys, yeah, the pack's available there. The pack's actually only $20, guys. You know, it's not a super expensive pack, but the packs are the best way for you guys to support the channel, and you know, definitely they help me out the most. You know, the views help as well, but if you could go and buy a preset pack for one of the pedals, and I'm coming out with more. I'm gonna have some for the HX1. I'm gonna have one for the Plethora X1. And whatever digital effects pedals I can get my hands on, I'll make packs for, you know, because generally, like I said, all the brands these days generally make something of decent quality. As long as it's, you know, most reputable brands are going to make something decent. Like, they're not making complete garbage, you know. I've only run across one complete garbage pedal that was by, you know, a multi-effects pedal that was, you know. But even that, they it looks like they did some work to it and got an app for it and fixed up a few things. So even that one isn't trash anymore. So, you know, I may redo that one, but if I get a chance. But past that, I got packs for the Zoom MS-60B Plus, Zoom B6, the MS-70CDR Plus, the C4 Synth, and ToneX series pedals and software. So check all that out on the Patreon. If you want to leave a tip, cash chat, super chat, I appreciate it all. And if you want to just check out my actual music with all these different pedals and stuff, I did an entire album with just my bass and effects, and that's over on allbasscreations.bandcamp.com. Again, allbasscreations.bandcamp.com. And you can find all my original music, and you'll find some singles on there of me playing piano, drums, and bass, and, you know, doing everything on there, leads, everything. So, you know, I got stuff on there. And then if you want to follow me on any social media, Instagram, Facebook, it's at the Bass Negus, Negus. And so that's all I got for you guys today. Check out the preset pack. Please check out the preset pack. And please hit that like button. It definitely helps me out tremendously. Hit that like button, subscribe, wherever you are. If you're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff. I appreciate all of you guys. So y'all have a great